Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to another BMBBH. I am Kev, and the purpose of tonight's broadcast is to talk about knowing the difference. Shout out to I'm listening. First comment. Um, Appreciate y'all for coming, and as you're coming in, go ahead and hit that like button. And if it's your first time here, hit that subscribe button as well, as we have good content coming to you on a regular basis on my channel and, of course, the Habitual Line Steppers. So, long live the Habitual Line Steppers. Um, just also pay attention to the message scrolling across the bottom of the screen. And for any moderators that may join the broadcast subsequently and stay for the duration, your wrenches are active. So, um, yeah, let me get a couple things out the way real quick. Yeah, let me get a couple things out the way real quick. Number one, I never intended this channel to be a battleground for any kind of war. I would say social media war or war. You know, is we're dealing with spiritual warfare. I would say spiritual warfare. So it's not some kind of hotep ideology to believe that black people are constantly under attack, and most of those attackers are people who look like us. So I don't believe in avoiding that one little fact right there. I don't. But I will say this. I will say this. I'm willing to fight for what I believe in, and I do respect people, although I may not agree with some of the ideologies out here. That I do respect for them fighting for what they believe in, and I truly understand what that means for a lot of us. I'm saying, to face the challenges and the scrutinies of being such, being brutally honest, I would say. And I just want to everyone to understand what brutal honesty means. Um, it Brutal honesty is not, let's say what it's not first. It's not disrespectful. It's not intended to be a form of disrespect, because if you love and respect someone, you will be brutally honest with them. Total, like, I mean, like, here's the thing: you don't walk up to your average everyday person and just say, "Hey, you know what?" I mean, if they appear to be overweight, you don't just walk up to any and every one of them and say, "Hey, you're fat." That's just not. That's just not smart. People are going to react to that kind of thing. And if in really, if you're doing something like that, you're walking up to someone and saying, "Hey, you're fat," then your intent is to be rude, because that's just kind of the way that we've been shaped psychologically. That's the way we're wired up to believe that telling someone a unfiltered truth is rude as fuck. And to, I guess, ask a fat person. That's what you have to do. Ask them if, walking up to them and saying, "Hey, you're fat," is rude. Um, but I'm quite sure it is, and most overweight people that I know don't like shit like that. Unless, of course, they have that sense of humor and they're able to, calm down and joke back, basically, because there's always that right there. There's always, you have the ability to joke back, clap back when someone says something to you, even if it is brutal in the way it sounds. Because if they're walking up to you and telling you that you're fat, and you are fat, then they are telling the truth. Even though it's the way our thought processes go, it something like that sounds really mean. Is especially if it's a woman. Like, if you walk up to a woman and you insult her on like all in what you consider insults. Let me reword that. If you walk up to her and tell her the truth about a physical feature of hers, you know, just and it doesn't even necessarily have to be fat. She could have a big butt. Let's taking it to that dynamic now. Now we're diving into different waters. You can say, hey, you got a big butt, and she may have a big butt. She it may be the truth, but and I'm saying if she does have a big butt and you tell her the big butt, it is the truth. But is it necessarily in the way you say it or what you say in that case? Now, your fat is direct. You have a big butt. Are you telling her she looks good, or are you being a creep? Now, a lot of women would say you're being a creep. Some women actually like the fact that people can be so direct, but I don't recommend that one either. You know what I'm saying? Because even though it is the truth and it is brutally honest, if it applies to that person, it's still gonna sound a certain way. You know, it truly is. So, should you be able to walk up and tell a person the truth about anything? Yeah, but we're not wired that way. So we have to be careful in what we say, no matter what, especially if you're on someone else's platform. Is people can shut you down for saying certain things. Just because you intend certain things to be a certain way doesn't mean that people are going to take it that way. And you can't go around calling everybody sensitive if they don't take what you say with a grain of salt. I mean, that's one of the challenges that we have to face in life. We cannot sit there and honestly believe that everything we say gets a pass. When you decide to be brutally honest with someone, there may be a consequence to that. What you say, and one thing you have to understand is that with it being 7 billion, several billion different people on this planet, is that no matter what you think your truth is, you're going to have to use discretion. You know, the reason why I say a lot of these things that I'm saying right now is because people like to hide behind certain labels. They like to express that they like to make it seem like that they are not being bitter, or they are not being a total jackass, and try to hide it behind the guise of I would say I'm gonna give several examples here. Try to hide it behind the guise of um, red pill, feminism, SYSBM, MGTOW, divestment movement, swirlers, and I mean, for a period of time, being brutally honest. I'm just being brutally honest. I don't know how many times I've heard that on social media carrying this name. Now, most of the negative feedback does come from it is female driven. Nah, I'm not gonna lie about that, because when you got a number of people saying all y'all want to do is bash black women, that's a female driven narrative. But I will say this: there are plenty of people, plenty of guys that are bitter, that try to put it under the guise of being brutally honest. The only real way you can be brutally honest is that if it's a stiff fact. That's what it is. It's not being an asshole. Girl, you need to lose some weight. God damn. You know, all y'all losing. All you niggas losing. Shit like that. I mean, hell. Here's the thing. What made now? Let's get to the truth part. You People like that say that is their truth. That girl, you need to lose some weight, but she may have a boyfriend or a husband that thinks that she is great the way she is. So who's lying? Who's lying at the end of the day? She's gonna go with the thing that gives her the bigger advantage. So, to her, the guy that tells her she's fine just the way she is, their boyfriend or her husband, has already validated it for her. So you just a lying ass nigga, and she will push back. But if you keep pushing and pushing and pushing, then that's when you're gonna start looking bad. So brutal honesty, I don't really believe should be there to just the sole purpose is not to hurt feelings. Is not to. I mean, it could, which at the end of the day should not be that much of an issue. It could, but like I said, a stiff fact is a stiff fact. Now, when it comes to people's preferences, they can be brutally honest about that all day. You cannot change a person's preferences no matter how much you try to shame them. So, if a man doesn't like overweight women, that's just the way it is. If a woman doesn't like overweight men, and she likes her guys at least 5'7", and that at least know how to walk 30 minutes every 3 days, shit, that's what she wants. You can be brutally honest about your preferences all day, but if you can't find a person, place, or locate or thing or object or whatever that matches that, then that's just on you. You can be brutally honest about it all day. Doesn't mean it's guaranteed to you, but you have to watch that shit because with other people because we have to understand that some people aren't psychologically wired. I would say it doesn't necessarily make them soft. Although when we say things, we have this delusion of grandeur, like it's supposed to just be so impactful and so profound that we count more than anyone, though on a personal level. I get that because sometimes I can be like that. But if you're not right, you're not right. Period. Please take that into account because some of these motherfuckers around here. Shout out to Dollar Washer. Thanks for joining tonight. So I never want anyone to believe that, and it's just what I want because uh, people are going to push back in a way that people are going to push back in the way that they want to push back on. It is like from the creation of the name in April of 2017. I never intended black men being brutally honest to be a place where black men can just be flat out rude, fucking, uh, delusional, sociopathic assholes. That was never my intention. Hell, I'm a son, I'm a husband, and I'm a father. You know, that wouldn't be logical at all for me to want a platform full of people like that because it could affect my family. But yeah, I mean, it already has in certain ways. I mean, people being petty and thinking that everything is fucking funny. I've been down that road. You know, but as far as a hatred movement, as far as a hatred movement or whatever, that was never my intention. because our people love to do something besides truth and brutal honesty. They love to lie. They love to lie and say certain things, and it's cool. I mean, if you don't have a stiff fact behind whatever you're saying, or it could very well possibly be a lie. So really, that's the minimum. That's the minimum of things. The effect of that lie is a different story. I don't really too much try to pay attention to lies anymore. I understand that people are petty and sort of jealous, even though like people can be jealous and you could have made $0 from it still, and they're still jealous. I try to get these people to get them to understand that this jealous thing does come from the fact that you are a believer in yourself. It's not necessarily all the money you making. Raven Knight, Josh Johnson, what's going on? Not necessarily. I mean, it could be like what you project as far as your existence as a person. The fact that you can come at face value and have the belief that that is something greater than what other people can think about you, and the fact that you absolutely do not have to give a fuck because you know in your heart who you truly are. People can hate you for that, and people will go beyond truth to lie on you. I'm not worried about lies. I'm just worried about the effect of them. The effect of them. If y'all, it like if they, if, and this is something I heard before because I said something about Super Sly saying that the Black Manosphere was a safe haven for pedos and rapists and molesters. When I had that Facebook group, they were saying that it was a safe haven for men who hated women and we were just a bunch of closeted homosexuals. Let's just go ahead and throw it out there. Every time a black man disagrees with what's going on in the community involving women, then he has a chance of being shamed and called a homosexual. Like, we don't know, black people have displayed within the past few years on social media, we don't know what an actual homosexual is. We think it's a person that wears neat shoes at this point. We have blurred the line so much to the point where we look really dumb. It's just what it is. It's just what it is. So let me go ahead and stray away from that. But it was a lie. So I became I used to get angry about it because it was that it wasn't white folks saying this shit. It was our people saying it. Prepper 101, what's going on? It wasn't white folks saying it. It was our people saying it. Even though those same people would turn around and can try to convince me that white people were the enemy, which that's another discussion. You know, don't want to seem like that we're being oppositional on someone else's platform. But I am well aware of where I come from and where my people have come from and who were the offenders and the perpetrators of everything. But on a social level, it's our people attacking. Like there's some entitlement, like I'm supposed to ignore the fact that, just because we have the same skin color, that you are being extremely oppositional, adversarial. I'm not going to ignore that. But that's just what it is. That's just what it is at this point. Is your truth versus brutal honesty. Your truth a lot of times can be a lie. This is my truth. Seriously. Can you back it up with a stiff fact? Or a couple of stiff facts? Let me spell it out there for the people in the bleachers. Let me do this real quick, because some people may not actually understand what I'm talking about when I say a stiff fact. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. 14 watching. I hope everybody has pressed like that's watching right now. Stiff fact. Indisputable, tangible information that is backed up by whatever you're saying in the narrative that you are trying to push. Whether you are in a circumstance of debate or whether you're in a circumstance of monologuing. And yes, I just made that definition up, but I'm not wrong because everything I just said was a stiff fact. So, if you're calling it your truth, but you have nothing to back it up with, it's one of two things. It's either a lie or it's bullshit. So, be very careful with that kind of thing. Be very careful. Be very careful. All right. So, let me see what we're. All right. 13 likes, 16 watching. A couple of you haven't pressed that like button. You know. Oh yeah, super chat is active too. So if you want to throw something in the little pot or whatever, I mean, they're available for you. I'm not somebody that pushes the cash thing too much on my broadcast. Sometimes I go on an hour and a half, 2 hours, it's 3 hours sometimes without saying something, but it is there and it is available. I also have a cash app. I never said don't do it. I just don't push it that much. I do have a really good appreciation for people who are willing to tune in and the moderators that are willing to watch the chat and make sure everything goes down in a mature fashion, because that's the way we do it over here on Black Men Being Brutally Honest. However, if you, moderator or regular attendee, or even viewer to an extent, if you decide to call something brutal honesty and you're rude as fuck and you're just being an asshole or a bitch, then you have to reap those consequences. I'm not trying to censor anyone, but I'm saying, just saying. Yeah, I've been accused of censorship. I mean, it's like people just act like that when you do say something, when it's a stiff fact, after they have been rude, then all of a sudden they can't do anything, or they are somehow restricted from telling their truth, even though they were being blatantly disrespectful. And that's the kind of thing that I like to discuss. But yeah, let me respond to, like, not so much respond, but just say this. Just use this little moment to say this. Yes, you can have brutally honest conversations. You can. There are reasons for that. You can have brutally honest conversations. Mister, thank you for the super chat. I just got here because black people are always late. Yeah, I can't say nothing about that for real, because I was late tonight for my broadcast. I was like, I'm usually like 10, 15 minutes late, but I promise you guys who tune in and are here on time that I will definitely improve on that. I'll definitely improve, but the message, the quality of the message. Cold black, what's going on? People lie to those they don't respect, aka my truth. Phil Brad, what's up? Good to see you again. Shaka Nulu, what's good? What's good? Shaka Nulu, only thin-skinned people hate brutal honesty. But still, brutal honesty is something that you should not use just to just be blatant. It just is not about being blatant. It's about, look, this is the truth. It's what it is. I mean, I don't mean to be rude, but here's a stick of gum. Your breath stink. I a true friend would do that. A true friend doesn't let you go around, with your breath stink. Yeah. It's like I would hate to just be talking to somebody face and then they go to somebody else. Man, that breath stink like a motherfucker. I would rather, if I'm any friend to that person, I will go up them and say, "Hey, bro, this is a stick of gum, man. Here's a peppermint or something, man. I don't want you to be failing with the ladies. I don't want nose hairs curling up. You know. Now, guys can do that to guys. Now, walk up to a young lady with a stick of gum, and then they'll turn around and say that you hate women. So, yeah, yeah. I'm just saying, it's like that in 2021. It's like that in 2021. But if we're going to put that in true context, only thin-skinned people hate brutal honesty. We like to go with definitions here. So you're correct. Shakanulu is correct. He's absolutely 100% correct. So let's look up brutal honesty. Let me go ahead and see if I can find a definition because Google is our friend. Google is our friend. Brutal honesty does. I'll tell you what brutal honesty isn't. It's not like just telling the truth to just black men. Oh, y'all need to take care of these. Y'all need to take care of these kids. Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, but I mean, shit. Okay, let's see. See if y'all agree with this. I just found something on Google. So let me. I tell my friend, Mr. Mills, I tell my friend his breath stink all the time. He is a habitual bad breather. Yeah, some needs to change about that. Like either some mouthwash or a dentist. Let's see. All right, let's see what Google says about brutal honesty. Say if someone expresses something unpleasant with brutal honesty or frankness, they express it in a clear and accurate way without attempting to disguise its unpleasantness. Brutally, adverb, adjective, adverb with verb. Okay, now I'm going to scroll down a little bit. What word means brutally honest? Someone who is veracious speaks the truth, like your brutally honest friend who always lets you know what she thinks. Yeah, putting it in female framing, but whatever. About your outfits, your hairstyle, your lasagna recipe, and your taste in movies. I mean, if so, yeah, I mean, I grew up under a brutally honest circumstance. If a person didn't like a song that I was listening to, they would express it. Man, why you listen to that whack ass shit? Like, I would say I was a person that was diverse in musical taste. Like, I could listen to classical, I could listen to jazz, I could listen to R&B. I can't listen to gospel and country, but I used to listen to some rock music too. Like a weird one to black people would be Paul McCartney. I used to listen to Paul McCartney, and I used to listen to it around black people, and I always used to get the brutally honest truth about how they felt about that. Man, why you listen to that, man? Man, white people music, man. Why, man? You acting white? Yeah, yeah, that was acting white to folks. I'm good with that, and I'm good with that because I do understand that there is and I wouldn't even call it ignorant either. If they want to call it white people music, they can call it white people music. You know, I just stuck out a weird one. Like, I listen to people like Disturbed and Aesop Rock, but that's also in addition to the hundreds of black artists that I listen to, like Jill Scott or Ludacris or somebody like that. It's just what it is. If I noticed as growing up as a young black man in America, if I didn't dress a certain way, if I didn't listen to a certain kind of music, even my time that I spent cooking, if I didn't do a recipe right, then everyone was brutally honest with me, and I had to have taken it with a grain of salt, and I had to be brutally honest with myself. Is the music that I'm listening to whack? Well, that's subjective. So I'm gonna listen to what I want to anyway. But is the food I'm making bad? Maybe. Yeah, probably. If a person say it tastes bad, you know what? I have to take a spoon or a fork and taste it myself, and then it just have to be. I have to be brutally honest with myself. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Is if I went out and I smell like I stepped in dog poop. Do I expect for people to sit up there and say, "God damn, Kev, man, what's that cologne you wearing? God, man, that's no." I don't. I don't. I don't want people lying to me. People may try to be a little smooth, just depending on whether they like, okay, whether they kind of respect you or not, or they just don't want you to understand and realize what's going on with you. Like, but I respect the brutal honesty. What I don't respect and what I don't expect people to respect is when you gotta talk behind someone's back. That's the one thing that's not being brutally honest at all. That's being a chicken shit. That's not. If you're a young man, that's not being a man. That's not being If you're a lady, that's not a person of integrity. That's being messy. That's being petty. That's being ratchet. And we do a lot of that. So yeah, by all means, tell me the truth. I'm just. Oh God, I put this overlay up and then I ain't even. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I put that overlay up and I ain't even had it. Like I shared the screen, So shit. But y'all understood what I'm saying. And I see a $20 super chat. I appreciate that. Camp Low $20 super sticker. Thank you very much for your support. I appreciate it, and thank you once again for tuning in. But let me take this overlay out to show you what I was talking about. I mean, well, you heard me read it, so I mean, we'll need to go through it again because you guys you think I'm cool enough to listen to. So, oh, Toya the tutor, Toya the tutor, what's going on? Say it with your chest and lollipees. Shakanulu, he said that's an opinion. Uh, yeah. Uh, all right, so and let me stop this sharing. There's no point in sharing this screen. But yeah, yeah. So tonight's topic: truth or brutal honesty. Know the difference. Is there a difference in literal truth, and then there's a difference in brutal honesty? Really, is it? Think about it. Literal truth. But there's a reason why I put truth in lowercase letters. I should have entitled it "Your Truth" because I like literal meanings. Feel Brad, poop smells, bad breath. What's next? I mean, I said overweight. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you're going around telling people that they are overweight, you better have like a body fat percentage of at least 12%. At least 12%, because when you get into 15 to 18s, you be teetering. When you get into 20s, you better. It's like you need to have something to back up with that brutal honesty. You know, I can't go around telling people that they are ugly and my face looks like a tiki mask. I can't do that. I get that. I understand that. I also understand that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Shoot. So it like, but like you also have your preferences. Like I said, you can be brutally honest about your preferences all day. If you're an overweight woman, but you want an in shape man, good luck. But you're being brutally honest about that. Lizzo, and I know we bring up Lizzo very often. Lizzo is being brutally honest about her preferences. Am I mad at Lizzo for that? No. But when you put that in the court of public opinion, yeah, everybody have at it. Shit, it's not accurate. Even like yeah, I just made the point where if you're an overweight person, you calling other people overweight, you better have a do that kind of thing. If you're an overweight person, if you want somebody that's smaller, if they don't prefer you, you can't get mad because you're overweight. Yeah, I mean shit. Oh man, I'll tell you one thing though. Brutal honesty can get you shut down. Yeah, cause yeah, Raven Knight. They out there dressing up, looking like little boys, shaking my damn head. I ain't ever going to support that shit. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, me neither. You don't have to support it at all. You gotta support anything like that. But then when you are brutally honest about it, say for instance, Lil Nas X. Now, if I went in on Lil Nas X every night, if I were telling the truth, they would shut me down. They like seriously, they would shut me down because that's not the narrative they are trying to push. Although I do not support whatever he's doing, I don't have to speak about it every night. Being brutally honest, if he didn't come out like that, he'd be irrelevant right now because Old Town Road was his only hit. Nobody else would care about anything else he was putting out if he ain't do all that dumb shit. But like I said, if I went deeper into why I think that everything is fucked up that he does, then somebody's gonna try to flag. They're gonna flag it. Oh, he's being divisive, hates me. Shoot. Uh, yeah. I mean, when people say stuff like it's an attack on masculinity, that's true. It is. That's true. But what is important at the end of the day is how Raven Knight reacts, how you react as a person to it. You ain't got to support it. You ain't got to give it energy. You ain't got to give it strength. If we want to promote masculinity, let's promote masculinity. Yeah, that's why we got these platforms. Let's do it. Let's do this. So, let's see. All right. So, here's the deal for anyone watching that might want to come up on this panel. I already put the links in the description. Um, I got a link for newcomers, and I have a link for people who've never been here before. Now, if you've never been here before, you know what to do. If you hit the old timer link, if you hit the regular link, and I don't know you, I'm not letting you up. It's just simple as that. Because we had all these dumb people that want to get people's channels shut down, trying to be trolls. What's up with that shit? What's up with grown ass people being trolls? So I mean, but it is like, and it's not, and a lot of these trolls and that I believe that did that porn bomb shit on these Streamyard links. I don't believe that they were all black. I think that when someone sees opportunity to fuck your shit up, they'll take that opportunity and flag it then. But it wasn't necessarily the person that the person ain't necessarily always black. I'll tell you that much. People go around looking for StreamYard links and just fucking folks shit up. So, yep, that's why we're doing the two link things, and you can thank the Roger Report for that brilliant idea. It almost got dropped. That's how I react. Play with fire, get burned. Okay, yeah, yeah. Let me take off this overlay because yeah, I got like I don't know. Social media provides such such eye-opening content. Like I totally think this is staged because you cannot believe that's gonna actually be effective. But I thought it was really funny. But like I said, people operate on their truth. If this guy was serious, his truth at the time was that that boot was gonna stop that. And I saw the argument. Like it was an argument between him and a female. He talking about I'm tired of this shit. Yeah, you ain't going nowhere. She put a boot on the car. So and then like she arguing with him, and she just as funny as shit about it. But yeah, if this dude really believed that shit, then this is how foolish you can look in your truth. So all right. Hells yeah, hells yeah. So let me see. I'm gonna give a few minutes for. I'm gonna keep talking, and I'm gonna give a few minutes for someone to step up here. And if that does not happen, I probably will go ahead and shut down the show. Yeah. So let me see. Yeah, let me see if I can find something to talk about real quick, because that's what these broadcasts are for. Oh yeah, let me let me talk about this because I think it's funny. Yeah, just kind of glance at just kind of glance at this for a second. There it is. Just bear with me for a moment, and let me remind you: if you are watching and you haven't, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, or hit that like button. Whichever one you haven't done, just do both of them. Shit. All right. Well, I want to know what y'all think of this. All right. And the headline reads Lizzo called Chris Brown her favorite person, and fans aren't happy. Underneath it says hella weird. And top like, okay, this was written by a woman who appears to be African American named Brooke Lee Howard. So, okay. Uh, Says a video that emerged over the weekend showed Lizzo gushing over Brown, who's been accused of violence against women multiple times during a photo op. Hmm. Okay, so that's pretty much the framing of this, and this is I just believe that this is just another case of Lizzo being thirsty. Once again, she's quite the thirsty female, and she has gone. She pretty much, I don't know. I guess a highly flirtatious, sexual woman. Which I'm not calling her sexy or anything like that, but I don't need anyone's green light or approval to have an opinion anyway. She she does act very thirsty. She is kind of an attention freak, and when a person is constantly seeking attention, then then they may get it. It's kind of like a be careful what you wish for type deal. I would say. So it's whatever on that. But just goes to show you that if you so ever choose to, as a black man, you are going to have to be careful in your actions because they never ever ever let the shit go. Never. Chris Brown is gonna like he's been accused of violence against women. The last time he got accused, I think, was in France, and they proved that girl was lying. So accused, yeah, that is factually accurate. That is a stiff fact. That is brutally honest. But the I I get, like, she said hella weird. She was saying that Lizzo was being hella weird by saying Chris Brown was her favorite person. But people being that way is hella weird. Like, trying to, like, always, like acting like men, especially black men, are just totally unforgivable, and let's put the spotlight and the shine on everything negative. And it was even said, and people were still salty about that Rihanna thing, and it has been said that she was aggressive in that situation as well. And they're still, I believe they're still friends to this day. So, people. I guess that's just the normal order of things, just to just kind of put the emphasis. I mean, no matter how you feel about Lizzo and how you feel about her thirst for men who are much smaller than her, and her breaking down on social media every 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, still, it's just like, let's just call a spade a spade. It and it also goes to show you, no matter how much a person kind of coincides with your views. Like, people saying, women for a long time were saying that they love Lizzo's confidence, and I don't see it at all as confidence. I see it as somewhat of a cry for help. Even though that people will turn on you just like that, they will turn on you just like that. So this is why I believe that people in general should be brutally honest with stiff facts, including people like Lizzo, because people are so superficial and whiny these days. They are. They are. Want to cancel everybody over everything. Cancel culture. Fuck cancel culture. People are going to feel how they feel anyway. So, Judge Zilla. Judge Zilla, what's going on, man? I ain't seen you in a minute. I ain't seen you in a good little while, man. Shoot. Well, you been good to see you, man. Seriously. Like, I ain't even seen you on other channels. Well, I lurk other broadcasts. Sometimes I'll participate, but depending on where that is, because I have a tendency to get timed out. They say Rihanna doesn't care, then why should I? Exactly. Wolf and Beta Clothing, what's going on? Yeah, Wolf and Beta Clothing, clothes. My apologies. No, like, nobody likes to have their name said wrong. Wolf and Beta Clothes. Yeah, he's a content creator. So go ahead and check that brother out. Raven Knight. They stay bringing up Kim K's tape. And they mad that theirs doesn't sell at all near hers. Then say she's trying to steal black culture. Man, that's stealing black culture thing. God damn. Like I say, anybody that wants to jump up, the link is in the description. If you've been here before, there's a link for you. If If you haven't been here before, there's a link for that too. But yeah, they stay bringing up Kim K. Like, oh yeah, Kim Kardashian has been a target of the sisterhood for quite some time, and it's only because she had married Kanye West. Well, she's had a plethora of black guys, and someone a long time ago, and I want to really give this man credit. This is not something that I originally came up with, but he the man made a really good point, and I believe it was on Rogers channel. It was either on Rogers channel or this channel. And he said that the reason why they are so upset with Kim Kardashian is because of the fact that being a hoe worked for Kim K, but being a hoe didn't work for them. being, uh, uh, that's what it is. It's like Kim Kardashian. She had all these, and this is a popular word that's been going around lately. High value men. She's had a lot of high value men. She had Ray J. She had Reggie Bush. She had that Chris Humphries guy that she was married to for like 2 minutes. Uh, like she's had her share, and then she was married to Kanye, and then she has her own money. I mean that whatever you want to say about the Jenners and the Kardashians, I wouldn't go anywhere near them. I mean, but like shit.
What? But okay, again, okay, we're dealing with brutal truths, right?
Yeah, we are.
So you tell me what black woman that you've been through hasn't done what Kim K has done.
Oh, okay. Well, I just did say that, but no, I'm just saying. But like I said, being a HOE worked for Kim K. It was very
Right?
profitable for her. It did. Like a lot of these women out here giving it away for free, and they upset about it.
Exactly that. And and then she gets celebrated for the derriere, right? Yada
Yeah,
yada
yeah.
yada. She was able to make that shot. She was able to make a more than a few photographs that AKA sorry quote broke the internet unquote.
Hmm.
You know, but hey, it is it's
Yeah, yeah. She just. I mean, well, let's call a spade a spade. She got popular off a sex tape, but it was like one of the most sought after sex tapes of our time, and I still haven't seen it yet.
yeah. She well, not only that, but I mean, all of her poses. We know where those poses come from.
All right.
But some people get 20 likes, some people get 20 million likes.
Mm. And she definitely got over 20 million of likes and dollars and everything. And not that I'm just this Kim K admirer, but like I said, yeah, shit, she got that
And
ass.
just like the number that you like, who do you know? Like I like you can say like Superhead, but not the same way, right?
Not
Superhead had access to a lot of those dudes and was linked up with those dudes, but she got rings. She got rings. She got rings like fucking. She got rings like Chicago.
yeah, yeah, but I mean, she ain't around here talking about she's some millionaires. You know, you don't always see her on her on Rodeo Drive. You probably might see it at the swap meet, but you know, it's just, I mean, and you hear about her ever so often. She might say something about her escapade with Lil Wayne, but it's not nearly to the level of Kardashian, like at all. Like it
Oh
ain't.
no, I was just saying. I'm trying to think of a black, even like a black celebrity woman that's got as many rings from as many dudes in that tax bracket.
Mm,
Like Stephens had access, but she didn't get no rings.
yeah, let's see. Now, how many rings does Kim Kardashian have? She has two rings, right? It
Well,
was Chris
she was
Humphries.
engaged. She was engaged to Reggie Bush. That's a
Oh,
ring, right? She was
yeah,
married to the Humphreys guy, so that's two rings,
yeah.
right?
And she was married to
Engagement and
Kanye.
marriage, right? Married to Kanye, that's another two rings, so that's five right there. And I think she was engaged a couple of other times.
Mm.
So I mean, I'm at least going to add two more rings to that. That's seven rings.
And also, shout out to the Roger Report. Long live the habitual line steppers. Says, I think the fact that she looks good naked is also offensive to a lot of sisters. And
Well,
Raven Knight said, talk about marriage, she has too.
right. No, again, but when they're talking about rings, there's two, right? What I mean to say is, how many of these women are getting any rings, right? I'm even willing to put in engagement rings, which, in my imagination, don't mean anything more than a fucking promise ring. But look, I'm willing to extend that.
Yeah, and but like I get what Raven Knight's saying. If you're gonna do that, then that means Kenya Moore has had 6 rings or 7 rings. You know, these women around here be like
Oh,
Sonic the Hedgehog,
okay.
getting
Uh,
rings.
See, I wasn't familiar with that, and so hey,
But Kenya Moore's never been. No, I think Kenya Moore actually got married one time, but she got divorced. It didn't last very long. But here's what's sad: if you have all those attempts, but if your attempts are more than your marriages, then that might present a problem with you.
well, that's the problem with extending that courtesy, right? That's the problem with extending that courtesy. Like, I don't know. There's a real story about the runaway bride situation, but again, I don't think that situation is as prevalent in the highly melanated community as it is in the less so melanated community.
Mm, yeah. Then this is a disagreement I've had with a female in the past. It's like, um, the more like she can get a man. Look how many times she's been engaged. I was like, well, that just means that to me that just means how many times have you failed. That if you get engaged 5 times and you don't get married, that means that there was 5 dudes that ultimately decided that they didn't want to marry you. You know.
I mean, there is something to be said as it's making the playoffs but not winning the championship.
Hmm.
You know, there's a Bills argument to be made there.
Yeah, don't remind me of the Carolina Panthers Super Bowl year, man. I mean, hell of a team, but they got there and it didn't happen. So,
Yeah, I mean, like,
Hybrid
but again,
Impact '83. What's
like I
going on?
mean, like what you brought up there, it's funny. It's funny the again, like you said, with the even the Chris Brown situation with the Lizzo Chris Brown issue. Um, as you stated, they're friends. Rihanna and Chris Brown are they hang out.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
Is
they
that
do. And
am I
everybody
giving
else.
that? Is that echo on my end?
No, I don't hear an echo.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, they hang out, they vacation, they do things, and I'm probably sure that they do other things. Um, why am I going to be more? Why are all these people more angry at Chris Brown for decades than like? I remember specifically, like within 6 months, she tried to go back to him.
Mm-hmm. No, they made didn't they make that song Cake? Like we pretty much said we still fucking.
Like everybody else is way more involved with these people and demonizing them than the person, the actual
But
quote unquote victim. Again, because it's been well told that that was a mutual exchange of violence.
mm, yeah, but that doesn't go along with the narrative. If you are a man that raises a fist or a even a open hand to a woman, you are going to be labeled a woman beater.
Right.
So I mean, and let's just face it, a lot of people bring that shit up as a virtue signal. Like they're just so against it, but then like half the women bringing that shit up will screw Chris Brown's brains out themselves. So I
Yes.
don't.
Chris
So
Brown only has a career because look, no, dude. What man do you know bought a Chris Brown CD? Come on.
yeah, just like at our head. Okay, hey, let me get rid of this guy real quick. You got in
Yeah.
trouble. Block
Freaking
user.
weirdos.
Yeah, we got a weirdo, everyone.
Freaking weirdos.
Man, to my Adolf Hitler. Let me. Uh,
Uh,
the Roger Report. Thanks for the super chat. The Buffalo Bills almost won 4 Super Bowls, but they all got made fun of. Bills equals boy, I love losing Super Bowls.
well, I mean, I guess you could technically say that. I mean, getting to the Super Bowl championship game, I mean, I guess that means you almost won, but you didn't because it's a zero-sum game. There's a winner and there's a loser. The Super Bowl, as far as I recall, the Super Bowl has never ended in a tie.
No, no.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you're a first runner-up in the Super Bowl championship game, then
Yeah. Yes, Hybrid Impact 83, you are correct. This world has some weird characters. Hey, we begin hit like we begin hit like that a few times. Like there was somebody who had like 10 accounts trying to hit me one night.
you were up. Like I remember, I'm pretty sure it was your channel that I was up. The last time I was up on your channel, there was a weirdo on here too, and that was a while ago.
Yeah. I guess you're doing something right when they pop up. So if you're watching Adolf Hitler, let me smile like a donut in front of him. Like we're no stranger to this kind of stuff. So yeah, the topic is truth or brutal honesty. Like one of the points that I made earlier was the people coming under like just trying to be shitty people and try to put it under the guise of certain labels that we see
Hmm.
on social media, like certain beliefs, such as I would say MGTOW. MGTOW gets a lot of heat from people. You know,
Which is weird.
yeah,
Which
yeah,
is weird because it's a passive response.
yeah,
It, it
yeah.
it's not active to anybody. It's literally men going their own way.
And I mean, like, if you've been shitty to a man and he says he goes his own way, then you should be elated. You should be like, oh, he going his own way. Yeah, fuck that dude. No, they want to keep complaining about that dude. Like,
And even the dudes that are part of who choose to remain, right, will actively go after. Like, wait a minute, shouldn't you get more? This is a dude who doesn't want to play this game anymore. He's no longer a competitive of yours. He's a competitor of yours. You get access, like, so for any access that he would have had to the women that you're wanting to be, that you remain with, he's no longer bothering.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like, and I hate to use this comparison because I'm not calling anyone a slave, but it's like how white folks react after the slaves got freed. You know, then they started calling us lazy and unambitious and entitled and all this other crap because we're not in purpose to what they want. Let's see.
Mm.
But that's the same way with a lot of these guys, and I mean like not saying that someone who truly encompasses that value is all the things that they say they are, but it's like this. It is weird the way that they receive hate just for being them. Now if they're going
It's not
around,
even. But I'm
go,
sorry to interrupt you though. Uh, uh, but it's not again receiving hate for just being. It, let's see. How can I put this? I mean, it's it's like okay, it's like the professional wrestler in the ring calling out for challengers in the arena and no right and shitting on the dude that just went to the concession stand or the bathroom or just went to leave the arena. Like it's they're just saying, look, it's not even just for being them. Look, I don't want to play anymore. Oh, you's a bitch. Yeah, but you got all those people that are willing to play with you. Why do you care if I'm not playing?
but Let me ask you this though: do you believe or agree that there are some men that use those labels to dish out a negative message? Like, they
How do you
try
mean?
to hide behind it. There are weirdos everywhere. They try to hide behind it to, hide some discrepancy, I would say.
Uh, you're gonna have to be more direct.
More direct. Are there
Yeah.
guys that are actually bitter about how their lives turned out and then they try to sign up with some like MGTOW just to hide it? Like,
Is that?
say,
But okay,
go
my
ahead.
argument would be: is that hiding it?
Mm,
Is that hiding it? For whatever reason it is that you choose to go your own way, that you choose to not be part of the prevailing culture or established cultural norms within the society, if they don't benefit you, right? Does it
hmm
matter what the catalyst or the impetus of it is? You're just going to do your own thing,
mm.
right?
Okay.
And so, like you, sorry, not you. Um, Donnie is a martial artist, right?
hmm
Kia.
Are are you are you a martial artist, Kev?
No, I'm not a martial artist.
So if if Donnie was to say, "Motherfucker, why aren't you a martial artist?" Does it matter why you're not a martial artist? If you,
Uh,
I'm just not into it. I'm into
it,
other things more.
Donnie Donnie is allowed to Donnie is allowed to make a case for whatever reason, but wherever my decision is to take what Donnie is saying is either going to be with a grain of salt or I will take it seriously. But Judge Zilla, you're right. It doesn't matter. If it matters, why would it matter to Donnie that much whether I'm a martial artist or not? I'll take whatever he says into consideration as far as the level of me wanting to do that. But it's like if he's going to scoff me for not being one, it's like what the fuck? Like, dude, calm your ass down.
like whatever you choose not to be, like as men, whatever men choose to do that is not harmful or detrimental to any other individual or men in mass, right? What is a MGTOW person doing, regardless of whatever catalyst drove them to MGTOW? What is what they're doing to harm any man?
Mm. Mm. That's a good point. What are they doing to harm any man? Well, here's what the feedback I often get. No, not the little petty stuff. Not I'm not gonna say well they be getting called gay because that's gonna happen to any black man that disagrees with a norm. The problem they feel like with MGTOW is that MGTOW is spreading discord. You know, uh, hate hatred of women rather.
Only, only, but how? How is that? How does it do it? Only when those who choose to continue to participate interrogate MGTOW about why they're doing what they're doing. Like MGTOW is not Jehovah Witness, right? There's nobody going up to motherfuckers like there is no MGTOW person, right? Going into weddings, into bachelor parties, into bridal showers, saying, "Nigga, don't do that." They're not doing it.
I can't say that happens.
They're not going to single mixers and saying, "Nah, leave these bitches alone." That's not what they're doing. Like the response that you get that gets them painted with that brush is people are coming up to them saying, "Oh man, why ain't you getting at these bitches?" Well, from a certain context, right?
Mm,
From a melanated context. Why you over? You gonna leave that pussy on the table just like that?
okay. Hey, Donnie, what's going on, man?
What's
What's
going
up?
on, fellas? Y'all
Hey,
having a good convo.
yeah,
I popped
yeah,
in at the right time. I see.
yeah. What's going on, man? Any thoughts about which? Hey, by the way, the topic is truth or brutal honesty. Know the difference.
Mm, yeah. Well, sometimes you have to find the good mixture there. Not everybody can take the truth, and some motherfuckers you got to hit in the head with the truth. So it's selective. Like you don't, if your wife does some horrible cooking, you can do some truth, but you can't give her that brutal honesty. Bitch, this chicken is cold. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
you can, right? But it takes like for truth, it takes the understanding that there are three sides to a story, right?
Uh-huh.
If the three of us are here and Kev and I have an argument, right? There's my position, right? There's Kev's position, and then there's a observable, and then there's Donnie's observational position, right? But we also have to acknowledge that there's a fourth position, which is objective truth, right? That's not perspective based.
Yeah. Like
So
I was saying earlier, a stiff fact.
yeah, there's an objective truth. There are objective facts, and there's no obfuscation in that, right? Whereas from either perspective, well, I responded this way because of what Kev said, and then fucking Kev pissed me off, so I said what I said, and then I pissed Kev off, and no, nigga, you didn't piss me off. I wasn't feeling no way about it. I don't get emotional. I just get passionate.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You got them niggas. You got them niggas, man.
And then there's Donnie looking in like, both of you, either both of you motherfuckers was tripping, or one of you was tripping more than the other was tripping. Or
Either way, one of y'all wrong for damn putting a battery in this motherfucker back.
Yeah. So I mean, when you give that brutal honesty, or brutal honesty or truth, because of the way things are placed out there, I mean, there's having tact, and there's being an asshole, i.e., Donnie's example. But you could definitely be an asshole to your wife. I wouldn't advise it.
Not at all. I mean, yeah. Everything at the end of the day is about human choice, but there's also something called smart human choice.
Right.
Yeah, like I wouldn't write out like this. I'm the kind of person that if I do believe that if I'm your friend, I'm not gonna let you go out a certain way. I'm gonna tell you the truth before you end up looking like an idiot. Like I tested my friends one time a long time ago, and I don't hang out with those people anymore, so they weren't really my friends anyway. I put on this really small suit jacket, really small. It was tight, hugging my shoulders, and I had two people with me, and then I came out there doing all this little shit. I was just being silly, but I really wanted to see if my friends were going to say something, or my friends at the time were going to say something, and they didn't, and they didn't. Why I would do a little shit test like that, I don't know. I was just like, let me see who these people are. Let me see what they gonna do.
Or the booger test.
So I drove all the way up to Walmart. There's no point to this story. I didn't consequently do anything to them or anything. Or say, oh, look at how you motherfuckers. Well, yeah, wait a minute. Let me finish the story. Then, I drove up. Then I took the suit jacket off. I said, y'all my friends. Y'all ain't say any goddamn thing about me wearing this little ass suit jacket. And then they just started busting out laughing and shit. I was like, man, y'all ain't nothing. Y'all ain't shit. They tell me the goddamn truth.
Right.
I've given people that luxury. Like Donnie, seriously, if you had a homeboy who breath was stinking, would you give him a piece of gum?
Man.
Yeah. Put me in the spot. I would be doing some shit like, yeah, man. Let's go get some milkshake. Nigga, you ever had mint mocha?
Wait. You just wouldn't stay there wiping your eyes?
The man said these Olive Garden men's real good, man. Shit, man.
What happened? Now do you get some bad news?
Had to introduce this nigga to a toothbrush for Christmas, nigga.
But there's
that Procare Sonic.
But there's that like I'm sitting here with a couple of cats right now, and I lost I lost about 35 pounds, but I wouldn't advise of the way I lost the weight. Yeah, don't get so, but but I'm still, I'm still fat. I'm just not as fat as I was before.
Oh, okay. Well, 35 pounds is a significant difference.
Yes, but still nonetheless, I still got work to do.
Yeah.
But I have
Says it's
eyes.
not over.
I have eyes. I wear glasses. I wear the appropriate prescription to fix, the problems with my eyes. I own mirrors in my home, um, and so I can see. So when I say I'm fat, number one, I've been fit for most of my life, so I know the difference. But you say that, oh man, you're not fat. You're just big.
Man. Man, you look good, man. What you talking about?
No, you're
Man, you
doing
need
all
to
right.
Man, you need to hit that. Like, man, it's like you need to hit that person in the face with like a soft sandwich, like that soaked in water for like 30 minutes. Like
Right,
like just punish people like that.
right.
I'm not inciting violence or anything. I don't recommend that you take a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and put a water in it and just throw it in
That's not.
somebody's face. But
That's not. Look. What you're saying is not violence, man. What you're saying is called what you're saying is called aggressive hospitality.
aggressive hospitality, I'm going to use that from now on.
If you hit somebody with a sandwich, that's called aggressive hospitality.
Shit splat all over the fucking place. Shut the fuck up, man.
Right?
Oh man, yeah, ain't nothing wrong with you, man. yeah,
But on the converse of that fat argument, right? Man, I don't know why I'm so fat. I eat a lot of salads. But is anybody else going to say as I would? But you eat a lot of Kit Kats too.
or or when they see you, or when the McDonald's see you coming, they just say like if you see people reacting on the inside, shit.
Like, no. But people at the fast food restaurants, they get a bad rap for the Diet Coke, and I appreciate I at least appreciate the fat people that go for the Diet Coke because that's less sugar that they're ingesting at least.
Hmm.
But you know, but if you're ordering two of the value meals, and there's only one person in the car.
Yeah. Judge and Donnie, so you are on two ends of the fitness spectrum. You Judge are basically saying that okay, this can happen to you, and you're gonna have some work to do if you are become this way.
Hmm.
And Donnie is on the other side saying that hey, you know what? This is what can happen when you train and you work hard and you keep yourself up. So
And you don't
you
let
guys,
yourself get there. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So you guys are coming from two truths, two. You guys are both being brutally honest when you
But
say
but
stuff like that.
yes, but we both acknowledge the objective truth.
Yes,
Mm.
absolutely.
We both acknowledge the objective truth, which is if you don't train, if you don't exercise, and you have lax or poor eating habits, this is what can and will happen to you likely, unless you have some sort of metabolic imbalance that just keeps you rail thin.
Mm.
Yeah, that's real. You're one of them genetic freaks where you can eat a whole three pizzas and wake up skinny the day before the next day.
Yeah, there's about 15 to 20% of the population that's just like that. Like, see them all the time. They all look like Kenyan runners, no matter how much food
But you know what
they
though?
put down.
Do you think that is a lie that was perpetuated by society? Saying that you okay the way you are when in fact you weren't.
I mean, that's just it's simply not true.
That's never been the standard
that
for
is
men.
it's never been the standard. And the people who tell that lie, I'm going to go with the feminist dynamic. These are the people who are trying to coddle other people and make them feel better, really just to sell whatever it is, a book, appearances, etc. I think it's all bullshit, and they know that. You're being 350 pounds and running around like Lizzo, right? None of that's okay. You're increased. You're at an increased risk for every single thing. Let alone walking up a flight of stairs. You're out of breath. So why is
Mhm.
it that you would want to live like that?
It hasn't helped me since my car accident. I'll tell you that for sure.
So I think that whole dynamic is foolish. But and not only that, that is kind of opened Pandora's box and ran into a whole fucking circle of other shenanigans going on with the culture. You're okay if you do this. You're okay if you do this. Now we have men running around in dresses telling you that they're going to compete in your sport, dominate women, and it's okay because they're taking estrogen.
Ooh, did you see that last fight?
Oh, which one? The
Stop
super
trans genocide. Stop trans genocide.
the it was the one who was super yoked out when he was a man and then he became a woman and
I
somehow barely won the fight allegedly.
Oh no, the last one it was not barely winning. It was brutal.
Which one? Okay, so
It was all well, the person was all tatted up.
okay, yeah, that dude. So yeah, he gave an interview and he was talking about how he was before because he was like an ex-army ranger or some shit. Like this motherfucker was Chuck Norris. And he was
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, I could deadlift the back of the truck. I could run a mile in 16 seconds. I could do this, like all this fitness shit that was insane." And then he claims once he started taking estrogen, he couldn't do any of that anymore. And to be honest with you, I'm just calling bullshit.
Mhm.
I don't believe any of that.
All I can say is mm, mm. It was not a pretty event. We'll put it that way. It was not.
No,
That is one of the most. It's one of the most shameful things I've seen in the history of contact sports.
but you know what? Women are the one that is pushing this. It is women and the LGBT community, but largely straight women who are pushing this along with the LGBT community. So if they want to keep pushing it, no sweat off my back. There's
E-
never
e-
going to be a woman who takes testosterone who's going to beat me in a foot race, and, well, maybe a foot race, but beat me in the ring. Uh, you're not going to see them in the top tier of any sport. You
No.
will, however, see men jumping over and taking estrogen and dominating and destroying their sports.
Yep. And just like I said with the realness, if they don't care, then I don't care. If you like it,
What
I love it.
wasn't it? It was a woman, or a woman. It was a man, a transgendered woman that jumped into, I think, the weightlifting competition and was shattering records. Now, how do
Oh
you come back as a woman?
yeah. Oh, they were doing that. They were doing it there. I remember there was a time on another channel we were watching wrestling matches. It was brutal. Um, the all of those. Remember last year, all of those women who lost their scholarships
Mm,
because trans women chose to enter into their qualifying meets.
destroyed them.
Destroyed. you know, eh, eh, they've all said it. Even never, e- they've all said it. It's all been proven over and over and over again. I mean, and again, there's objective truth, and so are you brutally honest when you point out this, or you know,
Yes. When you point out the bullshit, when you point out the physical differences that obviously make sense between a a physically developed male and a physically developed female, you are being brutally honest because you can back that up with a still fact. It's called science.
and
Like, if she could deadlift the back, if he could deadlift the back of a car, at age 18, it doesn't equal out to, uh, it's going to be a woman if they take estrogen pills by the age, which is never true. It's never true. This is what I push here is that there are two genders, male and female. There are two, especially like, and what makes me believe that these guys are just trying to win at something. They're too they were too subpar in male sports, but so they want to transition so they can win something.
well,
And,
I'm a little bit more political than you. I said that there's two, there's three, there's straight. Well, there's two genders. right? Male and women, and there's two sexualities, straight and 51 variations of gay.
Yeah.
This is-
Yeah, and like all of them lead down the same damn road. So that's what they want you to believe in college safe spaces. But let's get away from that before someone gets all testy out there.
I, because that's again in the nature of the title of your show.
Yeah, yeah, I
You
got you.
know, because it's just like I was watching I was watching another program, available program around, and one of the people presented that the objective falsehood that channels that promote Obama, Clinton, and Biden are being taken off of YouTube. Whenever we all know that that is objectively a false statement.
Yeah, it
You
is.
can't come up with a single one of those channels that's been smashed.
No, no,
Not
no. What they're trying to do is they're trying to create some kind of victimhood narrative for themselves to try to reinforce that they are the good guys and not in fact the bad guys. Because people like, especially all over social media, have been waking up to a lot of their shit lately. When TV and the media were controlling them, you didn't think of them as the bad guys.
now. Understand. I don't feel bad for the red and conservative channels that get smashed.
No, no,
You
no, I
understand?
don't. I don't either because I mean, like, look, but I can be the ones that say that left wing and the right wing are on the same bird.
Well, yes, but my point is this: from my perspective, because again, I was around for a time. You guys were too, but maybe you just maybe this flew under the radar for you a little bit, right? FCC was started by the conservative red people,
Okay.
right? So you remember, this is the example I use often. Remember George Carlin?
Yeah. Yeah. George Carlin. Yeah.
And what was it, the 10 or 12 words that you can't say?
Hmm. Let's
That
go a
was,
little.
Yeah, it was famous. Yeah, that was famous. I remember that shit.
right? Well, who were the people that made it so that you couldn't say those on television?
It was the
Or
federal trade, well, not trade commission, but the over the air airways people, right?
right, yes. Or over the radio waves, I was going to say yes, right? That was the conservative red people, right? So what the conservative red people are mad about now, again, and I'm a free speech absolutist. I think that anybody should be able to say anything that they want to. Period. And if you don't like it, either don't listen or come up with a better argument
Okay.
against it. So,
Oh, I
but
thought you were limping.
what's that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking to my wife. Go ahead.
Oh no, no, no. Okay. So that's my position on it. But the right instituted this, and then the tool that they put into play was infiltrated by the blue people and is being used against them now. But you put the tool into play.
Yeah, that's what people do. People, and that makes me understand and believe that a lot of that was to silence black voices. But at the same time, we need to be careful when we go down these slippery slopes. Like and I put it down to as basic as black people getting mad at people saying the word nigger on social media.
Hmm.
Now everybody has their own version of nigger that they want taken off social media, and it's about no. Now it's more than 12 words that you can't use on social media right now.
Oh,
So
for sure.
yeah, so or anywhere for that matter. So that's what I say about this
Or,
little.
or words that are actually factual, defined, biological, established parameters that you can't use anymore.
Mm.
Again, it's the conversation we were having a bit 5 minutes ago. If you mislabel somebody, even though conventionally it's an accurate label,
I am what I want to be. I remember this video called Cecil the Lion. He was making the point of like I want to be a lion right now, but the point he was making there, it still looks stupid. It still
yeah,
makes you look stupid. So
I, I identify. I identify as like I identify as attack helicopter. Right. Previous to this crap, they shit all over Rachel Dolezal.
for being who she wanted to be.
My man hit that nail right on the fucking head. And she's back, by the way. Back with the shenanigans.
Well, she should be. She should be in an environment where you can distort my reality to make me have to voluntarily participate in your reality versus the objective reality. Like, you can think whatever you want about yourself. It's perfectly, but when you make me have to think that too, or have to participate, I mean, sorry. Like, if you're a 56, I don't care if I don't care if you identify as a little Asian, as a 5-year-old Asian girl, if you're a 57-year-old, 7 foot tall NBA center.
But you have to accept that. You have to accept that. It's ageism. And where that's going next is for grown ass men to be messing with little kids and it be acceptable.
Well, I mean, I don't know. That's been, see, again, I could care less what people do with consenting adults. I don't care. It's got nothing to do with me and my body. Right? Doesn't have anything to do with it. I worry about associating that because it's something that they've associated with that demographic for about 100 years. You know what I mean? Associating with that and the animal stuff, right? So, but to be fair, again, when you have children out there participating, when you have children of 5, 8 years old participating in drag environments, which is essentially a boy dressing up scantily sexually in front of other men, I see where people have a problem with that. I see where people have a problem with that.
definitely. My thing was when that particular incident happened, when that little boy was pole dancing in front of those grown men and they were throwing dollars at him. The part that really got to me was he was on Good Morning America and Michael
Mm-hmm.
Strahan talking to the kid like that was some normal shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is like, wow, are you that afraid to say that shit was wrong and weird?
Yes. And on top of that, right? You have like it's it. Okay, so for these people who believe, whatever you believe, yada yada yada. You are whatever you believe you are, right? For the feminists on the side, it's wrong for a natural born cis woman to want to be a homemaker and have children and just want to be a wife, a traditional wife and mother. It's wrong for them to want to be that. It's wrong for them to want to be sexy, except if they want to be sexy. But nobody, but the only people that should see them as sexy are the people that they want them to see them as sexy. But it's perfectly, but the man that wants to think that he's a, that believes that he's a part of that is only a true person that's part of that if he takes on all the tropes of being the Jessica Rabbit of women, and and you as and then us as straight men, there's something wrong with us if we don't find that woman with the penis attractive as Jessica Rabbit. I got lost.
Yeah, for the record, I don't think that shit is attractive at all. I
Um,
don't. I'm sorry. It's not good. If you're going to display yourself as a female, you better very well be born one.
and
Like, that's just that. But that's me right there. And you can call it hate speech or whatever. Is like you can't. You at the end of the day, you can't change my preferences. You can't.
well, and then to complicate this further, right? With the example that was there, with the little boy or the child that was having dollars thrown at it. That's acceptable if it's a boy, but if that's a girl, then every single one of those dudes belongs under the jail.
Wow. Yeah, and I have thought about it that way. I have thought about it that way. Yeah, if that was a 12-year-old girl and all them grown men were throwing dollars at them, all of them dudes, they didn't took them men to jail, confiscated all their technology, their cell phones, their laptops. They'd have been looking for like they'd have been having computer forensics people come in and just probe their entire lives.
And I've got to clarify this. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be under
No,
the
no,
jail
no,
if
no,
that's
no,
a
no,
12-year-old
no,
girl,
no, 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 no.
but
I
they
get
should
believe
also be
that.
under the jail if it's a 12. It's a child.
Yeah, if it's a child, period. Yeah, of course. Of course. Hey, let me bring up something real quick. Remember that San Francisco choir that sang that song "We're
Yes,
Coming for Your Children"?
yes.
Give notice to how quickly that was swept under the rug.
Hmm.
How quickly like there were even reports. Oh, it was a joke. What? It was a
Right.
joke?
No, no. But here's the thing. Look, it's a joke. Oh, that's all. Well, we've got this song that comes out and says, "We're here to pray your gay away." Oh, it's a joke.
Oh man,
That's not
dude, they'd have
again.
been ostracized. They'd have been silenced. They whatever platform was on, they'd have been taken down, canceled. They'd have said all that stuff. We're gonna cancel you. Like, fuck
You know what you did. You know why you did it. You did it on purpose. And then again, that's part of that shit. So for a person like me who's like, I understand where Donnie was coming from, but when you and you can't object to where somebody even goes from where beyond where Donnie is saying to attribute it to exactly that when you say that, when you do that.
yeah, there's some really sick double standards around here. Like,
You know.
I know that I'm not gonna say any creepy shit just based on a moral standpoint. Like, I would never ever have the principle or the wherewithal to ever even as a prank, even as a troll, to sit up there and say I'm coming for your sons.
Well, listen.
Because it's even kind of dangerous for me to say it like this because someone could
Mhm.
twist it up. you know?
Well, what did Milo Yiannopoulos get in trouble for? You remember that guy?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember him.
He was condoning sexual assault or something like that with a pastor. He was talking about his own sexual experience and saying he wasn't a victim. Um, and then I think he brought up the Catholic Church and said something to
mhm.
the effect of these little boys, liking it, and he basically was condoning it.
Catholic Church. Let me tell y'all something real quick about the Catholic Church. I grew up Catholic, so every time I have told people that, every
Mhm.
time some sexual deviancy comes into question. Did the priest touch you? No, motherfucker, the priest didn't touch me. Shut up. I'll be about damn near fight folks because that's the
Right.
first thing they come up with, especially niggas. Niggas love to bring that shit up. Oh, you was an altar server. Oh, they make you go in the back and take your clothes off. Like, yeah, I was an altar server, but no, none of that shit happened. It's like, get the fuck
Yeah.
out of here with that. Me and you gonna fight if you bring it up again. Like, look, I don't.
You feel like a Joe Dirt.
I'm
Nothing
like,
happened for real.
God damn, like the ignorance of folks, man. Like they just want to believe that they just want to believe that people did that to you.
Right?
They,
But as if, okay, we look. This is the nature of look. You put the show in here, so it's you know me. If anybody's going to tell is loves to work on the truth, is me. As if it requires somebody with a collar in the black community.
mm,
As if many cookouts aren't inhabited by known violators.
mm. let me tell you something for everybody out there who used to say little smug shit to me about being Catholic. Every time, like I used to hear about a lot of sexual deviancy in church, but it always be them. It always be the little black churches that they go to, where the preacher is fucking half the congregation. You know,
Hmm. Hmm.
and it's like it's always those people that do that. I knew a couple priests myself that was messing with women left and right. I mean, being in a gas station buying condoms, and that's their business. That's their business.
Hmm.
If they want to do that, that's their business. But don't go around accusing me just because of a media stereotype. Don't go around accusing, people of a media stereotype. Back it up with a stiff fact.
Well, if
If
I'm not mistaken, the largest contingent of Christianity is Catholicism.
Yeah, 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 they
So,
kind of like. Well, now I will say this: my beliefs in just about all of that stuff have waned since
right.
I've become more self aware. My belief in that stuff has waned. Like whereas I used to be a practicing Catholic, I'm not really practicing anything anymore.
Hmm.
Is that I'm on this constant search for the truth. Not
Hmm.
not 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 some like higher consciousness or join the conscious community or anything like that. You can be you could search for a greater conscious and not be a part of the conscious community. I just want to understand and believe. I just want to understand our purpose for our ultimately our own existence. That's what I want. I want to know what there is out there that is greater than myself, because if it's written by man, um, it could be a narrative.
Well, again, the painful truth with that. And I see. I wish you well on your journey. I wish you well on your journey. But this is what I'll point out and again in line with the title of in what area you tell me in what area of study do we know less now than we did before?
None. None. None, because everything like it. But if we don't have a higher consciousness, or if we don't have a more of a grip on knowledge now than we did 50 years ago, then we are truly dead as a society. We're just kind of DOA. We just kind of think we're alive.
I
So
mean, most of these things come from and well because everybody else believed it and they believed it. It has to be real because people believed it for so long. Mm, mm.
you can believe a lie all you want. It's still a fucking lie.
How long did motherfuckers throw salt over the shoulder? Oh, they're still doing it.
Donnie,
Huh.
Donnie,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Donnie. Hey man, look, like we what is your belief system? Like I mean, even like not even like I'm not even talking about on a spiritual level or anything. Your own belief system. What do you?
I believe white folks are the devil. No, so I'm not, Christian, or really, I don't really believe in any of these Abrahamic religions. I'm more so on the spiritual aspect of, you have ancestors, you have family members that maybe they pass on, and there's a sense of maybe they're watching over you, but I don't think it's connected to any kind of God or heavenly plane or anything like that. I think we end up being energy, and as science dictates, you can't just energy doesn't disperse. It turns into another form. Something else happens to it. So, I believe there's spirits. There's too much evidence showing that there are um, entities beyond our knowledge, but I don't think that those things are a man in heaven demanding your money and tithes. So,
Yeah.
I guess my belief system is more loose than anything. But I just go with the flow on a lot of shit.
Yeah. What I started to believe, I would say, is why aren't we encouraging people to be better because they're here right now?
Well,
Why only encourage people to be better because there's going to be some huge reward after you die?
so the one of my issues with religion is John Henry Clark said that religion is the handmaiden of conquerors, right? It's used to control the masses. If you have a set of beliefs with a set of functions and a higher power, right? You're beholden to that higher power. It's going to come with a set of rules and regulations on how you're acting, how you're supposed to act and behave. That typically keeps whoever's in power in power. It also funds them, and it keeps you docile. Human beings can't seem to live without believing in a god. Ever since the first human was sitting under the damn coconut tree and the coconut fell down and hit him in the head. Oh my God, this was the Lord. He was telling me something. Religion is used to keep people stupid, blind, deaf, and dumb. So it's not really a concern. Even when you look at certain religions, it's probably gonna catch me some hell. Um, they don't have the strongest of moral codes. They have a code, but is it really moral? Like certain religions condone rape. Certain religions condone sleeping with children. There's prophets in certain religions, or I guess religious leaders that are super known in the religion that marry children. Is any of that right? And is any of that normal? No, but you have to have a certain set of pathways for these people to follow, and it doesn't often include making themselves into better people. Because if they were better people, you wouldn't have them joining the church, you wouldn't have them joining the mosque, etc. I mean, if everybody was striving to be actually be a better person, do you think they would be showing up in church to ask for forgiveness, making it rain at the altar? No.
It's almost
So,
a sense of they feel as if they can buy their way out of their shame.
well, that's what the Catholic Church did, wasn't it?
Well, well, yeah, not just the Catholic Church, but
Well, yeah,
that's
but
that's
they
a
were
strong.
they were the major ones who jumped in there. Oh, hey, well, listen, just go ahead and give us some money. Get it
Well,
right
I'm
there.
not going to deny the history of the Catholic Church. I'm not going to deny the history of the Catholic Church.
Yeah,
I'm
But
not
it's
going to do
also
it.
they
the
called it
regular church.
something though. What did they call it? It's not tithings. It was called something else.
Sacrifice?
No, it was called. There's literally there's a literal title for it that the
Yeah,
cat.
that's why I brought it up. I can't remember the damn name either. But
Offering?
it no, it's basically a buy your way out into heaven card. But they're not the only
Confession?
religion to do it.
No, it's
At the
Confession is a
contrition?
part of it.
I want to say like everything that you're saying is kind of part of it, but there's an actual label given to it. I think it starts with an S. I just can't. God dang.
But
Um,
let's look at different religions. So within Christianity, if you look in the Old Testament, if a man raped a woman, this was horrible. But it was only be horrible because the father couldn't really get full price for his daughter anymore. Therefore, what was the penalty for this man? Oh, you had to buy the wife. You had to go and make sure that you married this woman and you took her in and you took care of her because you raped her. Now imagine your daughter was sexually assaulted, and rather than them going and doing something horrible to this dude who raped your daughter, no. Oh, you raped my daughter? Cool. You can go ahead and marry her now. Do you
yeah,
think that's right?
right.
Man,
Indulgences,
not only do
indulgences.
I not think that's right, we gonna talk about another body murdered. Like we ain't.
Right? There. I think in Islam, Muhammad married a 6-year-old, and then had sex with her when she was 9. Um,
Wow, that's horribly sick.
the Book of Mormon teaches you that black people are innately evil. They are descended from the ones in heaven that didn't take a side, therefore they're wicked and black. And if you were to be cleansed of this and be forgiven and brought to a holy place basically in your life, then you would become white and delightsome. Is that something that you want to teach your kids? Is that something that you want to learn?
Oh,
And there's
I didn't hear the Muhammad one. I didn't hear 9, but I heard 12. And yes, for this time, that's horrible. But for the time and for the reason, that was par for the course.
I mean, I will give you that, but it's still super suspect. I mean, you're
But
marrying a
again,
6-year-old.
that's the subjective nature of these rulings and these specifications and these doctrines,
Mm.
and how they ebb and flow and change from here to there to that, and what's considered moral and ethical at this period of time versus
I mean, hey, I mean, I get it, but you're marrying a person who doesn't have their adult teeth.
yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like, and it's like you said earlier, we don't think the way we thought years and years ago. So, I mean,
Yeah.
for us to continue with the same savage ways throughout decades would only lead to our ultimate demise. So,
Yeah, that, that
uh,
that that's a hard thing. Like with a lot of religion. I'm in the camp of I get that you guys are believer-ish, spiritual-ish. I'm in the camp of Schrodinger's. I get that. Well, it seems like you guys are part of like Schrodinger's spirituality theology, whereas I like to be an empiricist. And
empiricists explain that.
well, an empiricist is somebody who needs to see literal proof or actual evidence. Not, I saw over there. Like, no, my cousin saw over there. Like, there's literally something tangible, provable.
I mean, when I would say that I'm a believer in the same thing. That's why, like I said, I'm not really practicing Catholicism anymore because
Yeah.
if I were to practice it, that means that I'm kissing the feet of statues, and I don't want to do that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So I mean is
Like,
certain.
I just look at us as an apex organism upon the planet.
uh,
That's just kind of what I look at us as an apex organism on the planet. Um, and we operate the way that we operate, and that's just what it is.
So, but and what you were saying, about the thing about, I get that, there are people that had certain values and beliefs at certain times, and I would say that we were probably coming from more of a present day mindset, which, like, although it was okay to them, it'll never be okay to us.
Well, okay to that, but and again, that's a little bit because it's still happening in regions today. So it's not just back then, because it's still happening in more regions that it doesn't happen.
Yeah, yeah, places that aren't the United States of America. Yeah, and if well hidden within the United States of America, Sh-
Mm, you know,
shit like that can go on for decades, and it
you
just fly under
know,
the radar.
um, a particular island that rich people used to like to hang out
Yeah. Oh yeah, and
at.
yeah, somebody they putting out lists because of that,
you know,
and also and also you can hear your boy R. Kelly. He said he about to let everything go about who been doing what.
R. Kelly ain't got nobody to tell on but a couple niggas here and there. He ain't got nobody powerful that they want to listen to. Who do you is Hart? You think R. Kelly is out here hanging out with some powerful, influential people?
That
This
motherfucker
nigga wrote
about to tell
trapped
him.
in the
He
closet.
about to tell on Peebo Bryson. That's what he
right?
about to
But
tell him.
there again, Donnie, do we really care as a people, as a society?
No, we don't. No, we
Because
don't. We often use this.
What R. Kelly was, has never been hidden to us.
We don't. I said this because Kev did an R. Kelly broadcast. after the verdict was done, the world saw that video. I remember being in the barbershop at like 13, 14, and we were watching it in the barbershop. You could see this nigga eating a little some girl's ass on a chair, and in the background there was a Grammy. So we all knew that this was R. Kelly. At some point, some nigga came in the room and said, "Kelly," and that nigga got up and said, "Huh? What? Oh, okay, yeah," and went back to eating booty. Right. So the world knew that this nigga did it, and after that happened, what did he come out with? The Chocolate Factory. Oh, nigga, the remix to Ignition, "Feeling on Your Booty,"
Trapped in the
"Trapped in the
closet.
Closet," 1 through 33. Did niggas shy away? Nope, not in the slightest bit. It wasn't until the BBC came out with that damn documentary that anybody gave a damn. Anybody made a mention of what was going on. His wife, I just watched, what's her name? Drea Kelly. I just watched this heifer get on TV and play the biggest victim that there ever was. And I remember her doing years ago during interviews talking about how she's never going to change her name. She's Miss Kelly. Oh, yada, yada, with such pride and beaming and joy. Now you over here crying? How? How does that work?
But even right, and see, I like the way you did that because that shows something. And again, I am not the guy that says always blame the vagina. I'm not. But did you see what you suddenly did there?
Well,
You placed the onus on the men. And I'm here to tell you that there is zero. That there is zero. I would be hard pressed to believe that there is any musician that's music is purchased more by men than women.
so R. Kelly, I talked about it. R. Kelly, I used to have a friend. We used to go over in the morning, and we would carpool to work. He watched this video every morning, and it was a R. Kelly live in concert video, and it was a entire concert full of women screaming and losing their mind. And R. Kelly walked to the edge of the stage and put his crotch to where they could touch, and women were out there grabbing it and
And
feeling
leather
it
pants. Yes, I remember the
and
vision.
shaking. Oh, oh! It wasn't a crowd full of dudes. It wasn't a line around the corner of men waiting to buy these tickets. It was women. It was women. It was women. It was women. I remember my first interaction with an older woman of some actual age. She was like 32, 33. I was like, I think 18. She turned on "Feeling on Your Booty."
And in this throughout this case, how many instances was it of men handing over their daughters to R. Kelly?
I mean, it was technically it was a couple, but it was full, full family. So it was a father and a mother.
Yeah. Let me say something about that. Like, if you're sitting up there in 2014, 2015, your daughter talking about I want to go do some shit with R. Kelly, then you are to blame. Period. Point blank. End of discussion. If your father sitting up there condoning that shit, it's your fault. If your
Yes.
mother sitting up there condoning that shit, it's your fault.
Yes.
But like, but what needs to be pointed out is that at the end of the day, when R. Kelly was making public appearances,
hmm
there were women holding up signs, screaming, "Take me hostage, R. Kelly."
Yes.
And and really they are trying their best to put that on the men. They're
Like,
trying
the
over
men that
social
were at
media.
R. Kelly concerts weren't at the R. Kelly concerts for R. Kelly.
They were out because women were fucking they were horny and they were looking for a dick to ride because R.
No,
And
Kelly
they
was
knew
singing all
that.
them damn
And
songs.
yes,
R.
and they
Kelly
were
at no
and
point.
they were poachers, lining up gazelles.
R. Kelly at no point was apologetic in any way, shape, or form. He just moved on with his life. There was an interview with Teray. I don't know if y'all remember. Teray sat down and asked him. He said, "Hey, listen." He said, "Do you like teenage girls?" This nigga's response was, I like grown women, nothing like that. He was like, "When you say teenager,
Teenager. What age are you talking?
I mean,
Oh, I remember that because they put that "boy if you don't get no" at the end of that shit.
I mean,
hey,
Boy, if you don't get yo.
Like
right. So
that's my whole thing is my whole thing about it is R. Kelly. We've known, like everybody's antennas went up when everybody heard the same thing. I know you guys' antennas had to go up at this. I'm 43. I don't know exactly how old you guys are, but I'm 43.
God, I'm the oldest guy here. Shit.
But when I was either in seventh or eighth grade, one of the two, and I heard that he had married Aaliyah. Ding ding. Wait a minute, Aaliyah's like my age.
Yeah, the flag went up. The flag went up when that happened. Yeah, all of us talked about it too. And
You know,
then literally her first album was named Age Ain't Nothing But a Number with R. Kelly in the fucking background.
right. And so again, this dude has never been hidden. And this dude's money come. I'm not saying that men didn't buy 12 play and a couple of others like you said the other one chocolate. I've never bought an R. Kelly CD in my life. I had a CD because somebody left it in my car, but I never bought an R. Kelly. Like again, you don't get to be a man's man R&B singer. You really don't get to be a man's man hip hop guy. Your money comes mostly from women. And quiet as kept, we also know that it doesn't come from the black community. Just- but
Yeah, yeah, I'll agree with that. A lot of these rappers that don't like, I remember they used to do these interviews with these rappers, and they would not speak up for the community for anything. They were like, "They let me leave that shit alone. That's for the other folks. I'm just here to rock ice and have fun." They were doing that because they knew where most of their money was coming from.
right, no, I get exactly that. And then for the commentary, I get that I get that her parents allowed it to happen. Yes, but that doesn't negate R. Kelly's responsibility, and that doesn't say that we, like I said, everybody was available for this. Like even then in seventh, eighth grade, I knew something was wrong with this. And for to an effect to the Chappelle argument, right? Again, we've all been 15. I don't know, 15, 16, 14. Like I knew at 12 that I probably didn't want to get pissed on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Being urinated on is pretty. Nah. Yeah,
Like
yeah. I knew
that's
at a
not
very
saying,
early age.
yeah, that's not saying that again. That's not saying justification for the 15-year-old or whatever, or however old the teenager was. But
I think she was 14 at the time, right?
right,
So, and this is supposedly I think Sparkle's niece.
Yeah, Sparkle's
Um,
niece. Who?
so there's no telling what he promised her, what
oh,
he was telling
we
her.
we, we
And
don't
you
know
could
that
also
because she
tell.
claimed it wasn't her,
No,
even
that
though
we all knew damn well who that was, right? But there's no telling what he offered this little girl, and judging based on the video from what I remember, this wasn't their first rodeo, so she knew what he
no.
liked, there was a multiple set of times, and in addition to that, what kind of vain ass egotistical narcissistic monster are you that you got evidence of yourself committing fucking crimes in the house just kicking it, nigga?
Like, and that's what I'm saying. But that's like my whole thing is the hypocrisy of the group, the society. Like, like now, 30 fucking years later, after antennas were already raised by pretty much everybody, and then multiple incidents of this, that, and the other thing come to the. And this is before the internet was huge. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. That would have definitely been a viral moment, a viral videotape. you know, because
Like,
like everybody had that videotape, man, and I saw pretty much the same thing. Everybody saw R. Kelly eating the booty like groceries, receiving head like he was just king or some shit, and then the whole pissing on the little girl thing. Like, one thing I remember significantly to that he taped her peeing in the middle of the floor, her damn self.
yeah, it was, like,
Yeah, yeah, it was, and but see, here's the thing though, and I brought this up in my R. Kelly broadcast. If that's the case, a lot of people were in possession of child pornography.
yes,
A lot of y'all, because I never was in possession of this tape. A lot of y'all back in the day broke the law. You broke
Yes,
the law. According to the law, you should be in a prison for being in possession of child pornography.
this is the truth.
Actually,
This is an
actually,
objective truth.
we knew that girl was at 14, but the law never proved that girl was 14.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
like that, and
But it
that's
is terrible in any way you look at it.
and that's how some of this brutally honest, this truth, brutally honest stuff, without the acknowledgement of an objective truth, but again, without being critical of the surrounding context of events.
Yeah.
It's in like this whole thing. Do I think he should have been prosecuted? Absolutely. But
But you know what?
do I think people are celebrating and patting themselves on the back and everything? No, you're late on this. Like you do understand that should you have investigated sooner, there would likely have been less victims
So
or at least participants. We'll put it that
I,
way.
I really personally think that the R. Kelly thing is a shame. We knew he did it. There's no excusing it, right? But why are we making a gigantic deal over R. Kelly, who the nigga got taken to court? This shit happened. This was decades ago, right? Nobody said a word when Paul Walker was running around with his 16-year-old wife.
There's another point.
Nobody said a word when the dude from the Green Mile married the 16-year-old little girl and then showed his ass up on what was it? It was like celebrity
Who was that?
marriage counseling or some shit. And I'm
What's
like,
that?
uh he was some white dude from the Green Mile. I remember him being on TV and news and everywhere, and they were like,
Oh,
"Oh,
because I'm like,
she
I was like, I was confused. I'm like, I thought Marco Clark Duncan married
no, no,
Omarosa.
no,
Yeah.
no. This is a white dude. He married like a 16-year-old. Uh, and she was on him with like a marriage counselor show, and she was just like barely 19 or 20 or some shit. He's like 53. I'm going, oh, so we're not going to talk about this, huh? Okay, cool.
Eh,
And there's
Elvis, Buddy Holly. Yeah.
many instances. Nobody ever says anything to who's the white rocker dude who shoots
All of
pigs
them.
well, he's the one who shoots pigs from helicopter. This motherfucker was bold with it.
man,
Oh,
dude,
Nugent.
yeah, Ted
Nugent.
Nugent and dude, they had a rock band come out with a song. I know some of us remember this. Talking about she's only 17. Y'all remember that?
Well,
Oh
yeah,
god.
there's that, but then we also have the count, right? You can't do that. You can't do that without acknowledging. Right, that's one-sided. Like without acknowledging, she's just, you know.
But yeah, no.
They say,
Ted Nugent had a string of children that he was fucking, and then this motherfucker got up on TV and was bragging about fucking children. He was like, "Well, what's the dad gonna think? What's the dad gonna think?
but
Would you rather have them fucking a high school guy, or who doesn't know anything, or would you have them with Ted Nugent, motherfucker? That's a better option, a grown man." But it's,
I,
hold on.
yeah, no, it's a well-known thing. If you were a celebrity, the odds were not all of those were above smoking age when the smoking age was lower.
Nigga was well known for getting blowjobs from 15-year-olds.
Well,
Who's the chick that married Nirvana's lead singer?
Courtney Love.
Courtney Love was talking about how she was 14 backstage giving some celebrity blowjobs. Nobody said a motherfucking word. Not a peep was made. Bitch was on Howard Stern show talking about it for ad nauseum for hours.
Yep.
Yeah, and then as recent as you had R. Kelly and Bill Cosby, you've also had Ron Jeremy.
Well, but even okay, let's take it out of the realm of celebrity, right?
Hmm.
Okay, celebrity privileges, dude. All three of us went to high school, man.
Yeah,
All three of us saw those cars pull up with cats that didn't go to that high school, man.
I would say yeah, that was very much so the case at my high school. This was back in 92, 93, 94. Yeah, there was plenty of females that were talking about dating older men.
So are we really caring about this as a society?
Like I said, if you care about some of it, you have to care about all of it. And it's also at the end of the day, it depends on how you carry yourself. It is like, I'm not gonna.
And this is again no indictment of the underaged. I'm not indicting the underage.
Yeah.
That's not the point I'm making with this. Sorry.
No, no, no. It's not the point you're making with that. I mean, but yeah, is that there? I get where you're coming from. There's a huge level of hypocrisy when it comes to these things. Like if like you're crusading to like you saying that and I'm gonna bring this up. People are saying that the idea of that happening makes you suspect. That you would ever try to bring up something like that, like girls getting picked up by older guys at high school. But these are usually done. I mean, they usually try to bring that up to shame you. Those people usually are the ones that were fucking in high school.
Right. But and here and this is the big thing that I'm trying to say with this. And again, I am not the guy that always goes for blame the vagina.
Fellas, I'm timed out, but yeah, it was a great conversation.
That,
Long live the habitual line steppers. I'll let y'all later. Much
All right,
appreciated. Talk to
Donnie.
y'all.
Long live
say
Donnie.
well.
Stay.
Um it's just the fact that how much of this again, this is rarely something that is facilitated by the men in these underage girls' lives. It's
No,
almost never facilitated by the men in these underage girls' lives.
not at all. Not at all. I mean, the narrative always is shifted toward us, but the men, like, no, if the fathers who are present knew this shit was going on, because let me tell you something, it's more than likely that the mother would keep the secret. The daughter approached the mother, hey, I'm dating such and such. She'll keep that secret. But the father, he go all off the rails. Shoot, I
If
mean,
not outright encourage it. More often than I say keep the secret, but encourage it. Oh, James, that ain't that bad.
y'all better like you say, I'm finna clear this fucking house. If y'all don't shut the fuck up, let me see that little nigga. I mean, but the narrative is always the other way. It's always the men's fault. You know.
So that's all. It's just a kind of like that hypocrisy situation with those things is not this if this isn't facilitated. Like I don't know that I've had conversations. I don't think I've ever had a conversation with somebody, an adult who condoned that, an adult male who condoned that behavior.
Me neither.
But I've had plenty of conversations with women who've acknowledged that they indulged in that behavior.
Yeah, I mean, I'm often in a little bit. Say, for instance, if a teenage dude comes up and he's in reasonable shape, you know, they'll start talk and I've seen this on social media posts too. They'll start talking about how good the dude look and how what they'll do to him and
Mm.
all this other. I mean,
I wasn't even thinking about that. I was thinking about with the women that I know that said that they participated when they were younger. But you're saying, yeah, the older, yeah, whew.
yeah, older women look at younger boys like meat, and that's something that is hardly ever discussed.
Well,
You know,
remember, it's condoned. It's not even not just that. It's condoned, and it's ha ha ha. That's funny. Remember the episode of Fresh Prince where he's volunteering at at the nursing home, and he's up on the step stool or the ladder or whatever, and the old lady comes by and pitches and comes by and is pitching and feeling his bottom.
oh. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
That- that's how it's treated. As a dude who did security for a while, man, I can't tell you how many times that women came up and literally just grabbed my junk, aka Terry Crews style.
Well, I mean, I've had that happen to me too. Especially on road trips to beaches and stuff. Yeah, they'll do whatever they want to do. And I mean, and at the end of the day, that's at the discretion of the man. If he doesn't want women touching him like that, then he has every right to. But do you think it's worse that the man who's actually being touched and groped condone the behavior and not hold women accountable? Do you think that we should start holding women more accountable when they do things like that? It,
It's hard because society calls you a pussy if you do.
yeah, yeah, you'll get more laughed at than anything, and then
I mean,
it's really nowhere for you to go on that. So you either if you could catch it on tape and present it that way, if you want to
even
complain
then,
about it.
even then, just look at how look at the different ways teachers and coaches are treated.
Oh yeah, I feel you on that.
Even then, man, like some of these women have had documented video of them airtight with teenagers, with students from their class,
Mm,
as evidence in their case. Um, no, I I think we give you time served, and 3 years probation, and you'll be eligible for licensing again in 5 years.
yeah.
When reverse the situation, it's a male coach or a teacher who has three young teenagers from his class on the same evidence, video evidence, and that sentence get. When has that ever happened?
Mm.
In the past 80 odd years.
Yeah, you got a point. Yeah, yeah, you got a point. It's hard out here.
So, so when we're talking about truth and objective truth and brutal honesty, yeah, there's a difference between being tactless and being an asshole,
Yeah, exactly.
and
It,
then just saying the truth or what truth. And then there's a difference in how we're actually analyzing truth and where the pursuit of truth takes you sometimes. And sometimes it takes you to some uncomfortable places. But the fact that it's uncomfortable doesn't mean that you just turn away from it.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Because not being truthful is what got us in a lot of this in the first place. Uh,
Right?
yeah, it got us here in the manosphere, constantly trying to break down the problems and to see what the problem is, when mostly it's because people just weren't being truthful, wasn't being factual. And we have to get to a place to where being factual is cool again, if whether you agree with that or not. And
Hmm.
you don't have to be a tactless asshole to be able to be that. You can be a ruthless nice guy, as
Hmm.
we promote over here, but not a tactless asshole.
Yeah, no, I'm proficient in both. But
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes you gotta have a little fun with people.
I,
If it's just no other way, it's just like, okay, well, all right, let's do it. It's
you know,
game time.
I, I don't know whether this is a plus or a minus, but I'm an equal opportunity asshole.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
I
know,
agree. I mean, you're preaching to the choir. It's a plus for me.
yeah, I will crack on everybody and pretty much everything. But I'll also, but you'll never see a subject that I crack more on than myself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I've heard it. I mean, Yeah, and I mean, like, it's cool to be that way. It's liberating to be that way, to be equal opportunity, because and in that sense, you can't cherry pick either. You can't just say, like, I would always say this. I talk about men and women. If that's the case,
Yes.
if it's all about talking about certain people, and I just don't like to be cherry picked and say, oh, you're just talking about women, that you're bashing women and all this other shit. I was like, no, man, no, it's not about that. It's about, saying and doing what in your heart is correct, and not caring about whether it affects, a person, male or female, that wants that kind of stuff hidden. You know,
Oh, damn! I just had an idea of really popping a great example. Sorry,
go
sorry.
ahead, go ahead.
Nixium. Are you familiar with that? Nixium.
Nixium.
The chick from Smallville,
Oh,
the blonde girl.
yeah, the one that just got put in prison, something like that. You talking about that one?
I don't know if she's getting put in prison. I don't know about that. If she is, I think it's like 3 years. But they're holding the guy under the jail. Now this was the girl working with the guy to get all the other girls in there. And she wasn't the only one, right?
Mm.
But she gets 3 years and sympathy.
Okay, okay. You talking about Claire Brofman? Says
What's that?
she. Nah, yeah, I'm looking it up right now. Uh,
That's not a no. Her name's is it Claire Brofman?
Anthony Hayes, authentic. You know this guy?
I I don't. That's not a name I'm familiar with.
I don't know you, man. You hit the other link.
I
Hold on
need
one second.
something to say.
Yeah, something you had to say. I could do this a little
I
bit
I
right here.
I don't think. Okay.
Hold on one second. Let me do this real quick. Hold on. I mean, yeah, if he has something to say, he can say it like this. All right. So,
That's a hilarious picture.
what's going on, Anth? What's going on? You got
Hello.
some? What's going on? You got something to say? Hello? I mean, go ahead, speak.
What is up?
Hey, how you doing?
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, okay, I can't take this no more. Yeah, kick you from the studio, man.
Allison Mack. That's her name. That's what her name is. Allison
Uh,
Mack.
just yeah. That was somebody who wanted to. That's somebody who wanted to show his balls on camera. So
Thank you, Robert Nelson. Allison Mack. That's the name of the girl.
yeah.
But she was all part. Like the guy that we're not allowed to say his name on the internet about the island, and and right, and his procurer, his chick, the what's her name? She's got that funny French name. But anyway, uh, she's probably not going to get anywhere near anything, right? But she is acknowledged to have gotten all the young women to him,
Mhm.
right? Same thing. Allison Mack is part of the cabal at the top that got all the other women into this Nexium sexist cult thing, and had these girls branding the dude's initials on them and everything else like that. She was all part and parcel with that.
Mm.
She was all part and parcel with the operation of all of that. How was she any less guilty than he is? She even took off and ran with him. It's not like she went to the authorities and gave them information in exchange for a lesser sentence, right? No, or immunity. No, She got caught like they were running together. She got caught with the. This was a Bonnie and Clyde thing.
Mm.
Yet she gets virtually nothing, and he's likely never to see the light of day again.
Yeah, why? Cause she what? Did she try to go in acting like a victim? Like, oh my God, this
That's
is.
what they gave her.
Oh God. Ugh, I'm so sorry. did, did she do the white girl crying thing?
That's what they gave. Like again, that shit that we can't even the shit that we can't understand because Botham Jean, right? The officer who shot Botham Jean, which
Amber Geiger.
Amber Geiger, right? Which I think, if anything, that should have been the dude that has the statues and everything else. But hey, I'm a weirdo. But because this is literally a black man who was shot doing absolutely nothing wrong in his own fucking house.
Not at all. You know what made me mad when he first got shot? Black folks started immediately trying to look for pictures with him and who he was dating.
Because yeah,
Yeah. The first thing they did. And then they found some pictures with him and like in pictures with white women. Oh, he like white women. Fuck that nigga. He a CON and all this other shit. Yeah,
like,
but just to get away from the fact that this white woman walked in that apartment and said it was her. And look at this. Look, I can tell my place by I don't care if all the apartments look alike. I can tell my place when I walk into it. You know, by any sense of the matter. So,
I don't get it. I don't get it. And then at the end of it all, she got sympathy.
she got sympathy from the judge who gave her a Bible, which was horrible, and from the family members themselves. I told my family immediately, if some white woman walk into a damn my place and shoot me, you better not give her a Bible or a fucking hug because I will hunt you for the rest of goddamn eternity. Like all them things that go bumping tonight, yeah. Like some knock over in the kitchen, there ain't nobody in the kitchen, that's me. Don't do
And
that
she
bullshit.
and we have the audio proving that when she did it, she didn't care about what she did. She cared about the effect that it was going to have on her life.
Oh my God, I fucked up. I fucked up. Oh, I fucked up.
Like, come on, man, don't die, man. Come on, man, don't die. If you die, it's going to be really hard on me.
And she cried in the courtroom, and man, I did a video on like the jurors, like that, the jurors that did an interview, and then it was a white dude and a black girl. The black girl was going in like, once I saw that she was remorseful, I couldn't give her a bigger sentence than that. I couldn't. Like, what?
You murdered a man in cold blood.
Fuck that motherfucker. And all kinds of evidence come out, like on her what's that her Tumblr. Like she had all kinds of Blue Lives Matter shit. Like she talking about she'll shoot some folks.
Even then, like, I don't think that has anything in relation to do with it. But the fact of the matter is, she murdered a man in cold blood.
No, I mean, but no, I was just like stuff like that. They prove your capacity to shoot people. If you're truly remorseful, why you sitting up here talking about a gun, talking about you gonna shoot some folks?
Well, she's a cop. She has a gun, and that's previous to her. Right? Those didn't come out after she
Yeah,
shot.
yeah,
Those were.
yeah. But you got people with, you're in picture with people with all live matter T-shirts and
I,
anti-Kaepernick post, and
Here's the thing: is I can get her trying to prove that she belongs there. So hyper doing over. I can get her doing that. I can understand from my perspective. I can get. I've seen too many women do the same thing. I could be one of the guys. I could be one of the, and they try to over macho it shit. I get that. So that's how I look at that. But the fact that, but it doesn't change anything. You entered a person's residence. You shot them and killed them in cold blood, and they did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that you should be indicted and put in jail for what you post on social media. I get the point. Yeah, at the end of the day, she still walked into that man's apartment, minding his own business, eating ice cream, about to smoke a little bit, and still shot that man twice in the chest.
And
And the,
he was doing nothing wrong.
nothing, not at all, not at all.
He loses his life. You don't. I'm sorry. And again, I don't hide the fact that I'm an ex-con. I don't promote it because I think that gets too much credence to, unfortunately, in the black community. But that's what that is. That person, like, you took that person from his family, you took that person from his ability, like, you took everything from him, and you took a big piece from his family, and that's what happened. Sorry, that's what fucked. I would have a different if he came out and said, "Bitch, what you doing in my hallway?" There'd be something different, right? Circumstances would be different, but as they stand, for I don't understand how it plays out this way. But you don't know that you're not in your own apartment and you killed somebody. If somebody breaks into my house and I think they have a weapon and I shoot them and it turns out that they didn't have a weapon, guess what's going to happen to me?
You gone up the river.
And she wasn't doing this in the line or in the course of duty, none of this.
She's a poorly trained police officer.
You
Obviously,
know.
she was obviously poorly trained.
But again, maybe apparently what we're saying is way too much truth.
Hmm.
Because again, I think that dude should have been the guy that is that got 3 funerals and has statues and remember and you know and to show that, yeah, we're people too, versus the
So
guy that's currently.
is this a GF reference?
Of course it is,
Yeah, and
because
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this about GF. I would say that the outcry and the public rage was because it was on video for everyone to
yeah,
see.
I
That's
get that.
Yeah, I get it too, but the other guy, Botham John, he was way more model than GF.
And
He
yes, absolutely, the officer deserved to get a sentence for homicide.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
period,
absolutely, murderer.
period,
Had
period.
the audacity to try to appeal the sentence she got.
That's I am not justifying this gentleman's treatment, but I find it. I have to identify with GF because I'm an ex-con. Given the two choices for the vast majority of black men that are not felons, I would think you'd want to promote that over the other. That's all.
Yeah, but that is another conversation. Like, well, I already did that broadcast. How we promote and defend the worst versions of ourselves. Like for real, and it happens way too often. Like we don't like, and it boils down to this simple. Like we call black men who do shit with their lives educated lames. We
It's the
call
craziest thing.
Then it's the craziest fucking thing. Like, we talk about black excellence all the fucking time, but when it comes to a black man who is proud of himself for, overcoming obstacles and odds that society, like supposedly and statistically, he's not supposed to overcome, then we call that man an educated lame.
If we gave Freddie Figures as much credence as if the black community gave Freddie Figures as much credence as we gave Soldier Boy.
But that's also something like what is presented as cool to us by the media, and that they always represent it. And I really hate to say this, but a lot of us are too dumb not to listen to television media,
Mhm.
especially in our community. What we've always depicted as masculine and cool are the bad boys, like the NWA types, the gang member types. We always depicted them as the masculine archetype. While even those guys are even bullyish at times, and we still think they're cool.
Hmm.
While the smart, intelligent black man was always depicted as weak, frail, awkward, and the two archetypes that I like to use when I say this is Urkel and Carlton.
I I got in trouble. I got in trouble before, like a while back before you saw me disappear. I got in trouble.
So you got in trouble.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
shit.
I because I presented same thing like I said with Botham Jean, but instead of Botham Jean, I said Carlton. Like, look, you guys literally in this environment have more in common with the fictional biography of Carlton Banks than you do with George Floyd.
Mm, yeah. Now, why would that get you in trouble?
Because they got offended because nobody wants to be attributable as Carlton.
Mm,
It's offended, like that's the backwards nature of it. It's offensive because I'm like, why would you want somebody? Why would you want somebody to be the representation to you and about your lives mattering when you don't behave in that manner? When you don't engage in the things that led up to that interaction? Again, instead of Botham Jean, I used Carlton, but same thing. More of you think more about committing
Okay,
about
are you
committing
boys?
jail.
Okay, Foggy's still here?
Yeah, I'm visiting. I'm staying for like 29 something.
Okay, but you and me don't have to.
um, More people think more about whether to jaywalk than than this individual thought about carrying around a narcotic in his pocket.
mm,
But this is the representation versus other representations that you can use that are better,
mm,
because the vast majority of black men don't have criminal records, don't are trying to do things, being apprenticeships, formal education, certifications, or just doing a job for the next 20 to 30 years, you know and that's what they are. But now the face of it is somebody that's able to have that record pulled up in front of it. I get we saw it on video. Saying it didn't make sense to me.
mm.
So I put that correlation in, and everybody, like, it seems to me that you should be offended that this is the person that represents you in the face of the country, is the face of you in the country and the world now, on the world stage now, versus somebody Botham John or Philando Castile or
Or Elijah
others
McCain, somebody like that.
like Elijah McCain, Tamir Rice. You know,
Yeah, and I totally get that. I mean, they would take a pretty bad representation, but you also have to understand is that's what they want the image of black men to be.
even Eric Gardner, the Lucy cigarette guy,
Mm, mm. Eric Garner, who was just selling cigarettes.
selling Lucy's. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, oh, okay, Judge. Yeah, this broadcast has been running a little, and it's been a great conversation, and I'm especially, like I said earlier, it's good to see you again. You had disappeared for a second. I'm
Yeah.
just, it's cool, man. It's cool to see you still around. So,
Yeah.
do you
Comas
have
will
any?
do that. Comas have a way of doing that.
Yeah, yeah. I'll tell you somebody else I ain't seen in a minute. I ain't seen Zero in a little bit.
Oh no, Zero's around. Zero's around.
Zero. Yeah. So so shout out to Zero. You know. Shoot. But anyway, you got any final statements for the broadcast itself? I mean, because I thought it was a very good conversation.
No, let's see. The only thing I've got to add is again based on the nature, the title of the blah, blah, blah. Let me try this again. Based on the title of the broadcast, you know, you can have tact, you know, when you're telling the truth. You do not necessarily have to be a complete asshole. It when you're telling the truth. Um, but understand that whatever truth, whenever you're talking about a personalized or individualized truth, understand that there's an overarching objective truth.
Mm, yeah.
And if you can acknowledge that, then you can work on a rational and logical level for discussion. But if you can't do that, or your counterpart can't do that, well then there's an old saying that says never argue with a fool because from a distance nobody can tell the difference.
Mm, Abso-freaking-lutely. Truer words have never been spoken. Yeah, yeah. Um, Once again, yeah, appreciate you.
Of
Appreciate
course.
you coming up to the broadcast, man, and contributing to a great conversation.
Long live the habitual line steppers.
Long live. Now, for my final statement, people. Yeah, listen up. The point of the broadcast is to say ultimately that telling the truth is okay. It's not only okay, but it's necessary. And it's like anything outside of that might be attributed to some form of either sugarcoating or just being misleading to people just based on feelings. Now, that's not something I'm going to do because if I'm supposed to believe that I truly care, then I will tell you the truth. I will tell you the truth. And just to say that you believe or you have a feeling about something is not enough. You have to be able to back it up with something tangible, I would say. So that's pretty much it. Thank you for to once again to Judgezilla and to Donnie for coming up, and also to that troll that tried to get one over on me just because he named himself Anthony. I'm supposed to trust him and all this other shit. But we got all kinds of fail safes with that kind of stuff because y'all thinking y'all slick out there and thinking that y'all can get us shut down. But you gonna have to do way better than that from now on because we some smart black folks over here. So anyway, look, listen, guys. For all of you who are watching, and um, for those of you that did tune in, but of course, you had to um, do things like you had to go to bed early, because you have a productive day ahead of you tomorrow. I do really appreciate you for tuning in and, again, showing your absolute support of the channel. And, it really means a lot to me that you were able to go on this journey with me and, and just continue to, watch this viewership grow, watch this audience grow. And, I could not have asked for a better time in history to do it. So, um, really, I really am at the end of the day thanking you guys. Okay, so we have 44 likes, and I do have one dislike. Oh my God! So I guess I'm back on track. Now I'm feeling objectified by your male gaze. Okay, so anyway, that's it for now. You know, this is Kev and your host, and this is Black Men Being Brutally Honest. Long live the habitual line steppers. In Kev we trust. Till the next time.